Email sent to parents in the Crandon School District confirms students will be returning to class next Tuesday following an incident that forced the school to close. Emerson Lehman joins us in studio with a first alert update.
The incident on March 14th was a mechanical issue with the school's furnace, which created elevated levels of carbon monoxide in the school. The district telling parents carbon monoxide detectors have been installed in each school to ensure everyone's safety. Now, multiple students, staff members, and even first responders became ill, and some had to be hospitalized. The building has been shut down for the past 2 weeks while testing has been taking place. The update from the interim district administrator in Crandon, Kirby Schultz, says that everyone is okay and recovering well, and while carbon monoxide was suspected, the hazardous materials teams did not detect harmful levels on the day of the incident or during subsequent tests. Now, reports from local hospitals also indicated a majority of patients did not have elevated levels of carbon monoxide in their blood. The update goes on to say additional tests for water contamination, hazardous materials, and other harmful chemicals and substances didn't reveal anything out of the ordinary. The district will also continue to perform regular maintenance of all HVAC components in the building. Schultz asked parents to direct any questions they may have to him, telling them, quote, "We are excited and confident that classes will resume on Tuesday, April 2nd, as previously planned." Back to you.